Welcome to Unseen Sports TV, people. It's your host Javon Parchment, and today look at the topic is Jamaica versus Panama post match review show. Plus, where do we go from here? And building up to the 2026, and what do we do from now to build up for the 2026 World Cup qualification at that time? Because I can say I throw in the towel for us. Not we are not going to make it to. We are not going to make it to the World Cup, and I don't think we deserve to go there based on how we are playing. I don't think we deserve to go there. So for me, it's it's just sad. Um, well, I'm telling you, watching that game, Mexico game, watching the Panama game, it's just always going up, leading, and then just throwing away the lead like that. It's hard to take as a fan, and I am upset with a lot of things. You understand me? I'm upset with a lot of things, and I'm going to state, why I'm upset with some of the decisions made, and I'm upset with a lot of the players also. They're not performing up to standard, and yeah, basically that. But I would say, the coach have to take some blame. Coach have to take some blame. Hold on, people, because because he is the one that selected the team. He is the one that put the players out there to play, and he is the one that really everybody. Coach Daly from St. Catherine High School, the Walker Cup champion coach, double Walker Cup champion coach as a player as a triple. And you won it as a player, don't it?
Yeah.
And then you won it as a
Right,
coach two times. Two
yeah.
times. Wow. That's a great feat. You are a champion coach, my brother. Yes, I was saying I'm very upset with I'm very upset. Also, he's also the coach of Mullines FC, people. Look how much I forget that, people. That key word. He is the assistant coach from Mullines FC Premier League. Right. People, while you're joining the live, please to like, subscribe, and share to the content. Please to send the content out to a lot of people so that we can have a good audience in you know in the background. So we can talk about this football matter which we need to talk about. So Sir Daly, what do you think about these two games that Jamaica play? I know you didn't really watch the Panama game, but you must heard that the result, and you really can say something about it.
Yeah, definitely. The first game against Mexico, honestly, I wish that the government did open up the doors for us as spectators to
Right.
go in and really support the boys, because it would have meant a lot to the boys for have the crowd, cheering them on. And I think the result would probably be a bit different.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the biggest problem I think too. Also, the government. We don't really want to jump in and make it be very political, but it looks away. You understand me? It looks away. School is open. Face to face. Why can't? we get fans in the stadium who are vaccinated.
Vaccinated, right?
Right. It don't add up. It don't add up to me. I don't know what's the problem. Is it that they don't like sports? Is it that you know? I don't know. Is it that they just want to not help the current JFF because of
Well,
political reasons?
persons from the House of Parliament was there, watching the game, and I don't know, see why if they are there, why they couldn't open it up for us as fans.
Right. It look away. It just look like there's some untold story there. There's some, you know, non-agreement of something there with hierarchies. But I'll leave that up to them to sort that out. But it is a national matter, and I think if certain people was still around, we would have won that game against against Mexico and won, and maybe would have a better chance coming into to this Panama game. At certain people, but I won't say it on the platform. You can figure out what I'm saying in the
Yeah,
background.
definitely.
But in terms of the selection of the team by the coach, though, what do you think about you know the selection of the team for the Mexico and the Panama game, the starting team?
The starting team. Remember the starters again?
The starters for the Mexico game was Low. He got a red card. Pinnock, Brown, Taxi Lawrence, Robert Morrison, DJ, Speedy, Antonio, um, again, Jonah Flemings, and Lamar Walker.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent team that went out to represent us. I didn't have a problem, but the game really changed when Lowe got that red card. That's one of the turning point for us, even though went on and scored after. But for me, honestly, personally, I'm not a big fan of VAR.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I've seen where in the Premier League they have made use VAR to make terrible decision. But really and truly, I think Lowe really got the ball because even when he made the tackle, he pointed to the ball continuously. Probably was a bit over the top, but we're not gonna argue with it. That's in the past. But the
Yeah,
team was fighting. You can say that they were really fighting. And I like the energy that the gentleman displayed.
well a bit. Davian, join the live, Davian, join the live. Yeah. So that red card is very silly for me personally. Damien Lowe from a long time ago is getting away with a lot of these rash tackles. Especially in the USA game, the away game. If VAR was there, we would have gotten two red cards early in that game. He would be the first one, then Taxi Lawrence would be the second one. You understand me? Um, Damian Lowe, even in the Peru game, Damian Lowe too aggressive, but the person's back is turned to the goal, and you're jumping in the person back, some madness, and it's like he's playing for to hurt someone. That's basically how I see it. He's not playing the ball. He goes for the ball, but in the middle of the park for a centre back, you don't need to go in like that. Coach Daly, you don't need to go in like that. All you need to do is to try to get the ball away, take a shot off the goal, or pass the ball to the wide area so we could, penetrate and be patient with the ball. But he wants to hurt people, and that's how he plays. That's his nature of play. He wants to show his dominance,
His
and
dominance, right? So
then it really go overboard, overboard. So for me, Damian Lowe For that reason, Damon Lowe can't in my team until he relaxes and play the game like a centre back, a proper centre back. Do you see Van Dijk running and bouncing people like that? Do you see
No,
Koulibaly running people and bouncing people like that?
but you do see Pepe and Sergio Ramos doing that though, right?
Yeah, but how much red card they get? A lot, a
Yeah, and
lot. And they are
it's
not the
a part
best.
of the game though.
They are not the best. The best is Silva, Van Dijk, Koulibaly. Those players are the best. You know, they
Them to
man
be
look like him taking game from, Ramos and them man and
from Pepe.
Zaka. Aka or Zaka, where you want name from. You
Yeah,
understand me?
let's kick the life out of you, right?
Oh, you're right. Richard Stevens said, I want this a late night horror review, low tackle Powell and a 1-0 ton 2-1. Oh God, Q Navy is a Jamaican game. Oh, naive is a Jamaican. Ah, God. Richard, you wanted to hear my opinion on it, and we are here now. So I sent you the link so you can join. You understand me? We'll talk some football. Yeah, can talk some football. Um, you get the link, Sir Bill. You get the link, right? You can
Yeah,
send
man.
it. Not the YouTube link, You can send it to friends to watch it on YouTube. Well, let me see if I send it to you. Yeah, I send it to you so you can watch it on the YouTube. So for me, we have to really start look at 2026 now. Though we continue with Paula, I would say it's unfair to not give him a
A
chance
fair
to
chance, right?
continue with the
Definitely.
team because JFF blundered a lot in terms of continuing with more. I think too long. I think from the Gold Cup disappointment, he should have left the team. I think from the Gold Cup disappointment, she left the team, and that's where we blundered as a JFF blundered as an administration. And our next thing too, whenever you hear a team head coach get fired, the assistant coach is out too. It's only in Jamaica where you have assistant coach working with a team for over 10 years, or only in Jamaica for 10 years, using the same people, we're getting the same result. That don't make no sense to me. You understand me? We're using the same people. I'm not for persons to lose their job, right? I'm not for that. I'm not saying that they should lose their job, but come on, this is a performance-based job. If you're not performing, I think there's no room for you there. You
Yeah,
understand
but
me?
you can look at it also as a promotion for the assistant coach, because being a head coach is different from being an assistant coach. So
Right?
if the country or if the JFF decide to part ways um with the head coach, and they say okay, then the assistant can probably bring them through to the end of the season till they make a final decision. Because remember when Chelsea won their Champions League,
Mm.
it was the assistant coach who gave them that glory.
Right. But what I'm saying is that if you look on the bench, you are seeing the same. It's London, England. It's 1:56 a.m. London, England. Let me wash two dishes and cups. Listen, hold on. Richard, not easy. London, England. Let me wash two dishes and cups. Listen, link panel for a few. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Persons, while you're joining the live, please to like, subscribe, send the link to your friends so they can join. We're talking about the Jamaica and our future. We think that we should start to think about 2026, and also our future is bright in terms of talent. If we start to train them, make them get the cohesiveness from now, we can go to the World Cup because we have to really look into ourselves now and see that our method is not working. Meta is not working. For
Yeah.
example, over the years, we continue to getting the English based players to come. We train for 3 days and then play a match. It's not working, JFF. It's not working. That don't bring cohesiveness. And if you really look on some of the even in the in the schoolboy league where you have transfers and stuff and that, most of the teams who import their nucleus of players for 1 or 2 years, they're not winning the competition. They're not winning the competition. You know why? Because there are certain ingredients that must be taught from the grassroots level coming up. And that is just the way in football. And if you don't see that, you won't be victorious or achieve something in football. You understand? Remember 1996, what ingredients we used to go to the World Cup? Sir Bailey. Sir Daly.
Yeah, man, you tell us. You know, you bring up
Okay.
96.
So we use
96
our
was
nucleus. Yeah.
of the homegrown talent,
Okay.
Walter Boyd, Pepe. Because remember, when these English based players come and they played, the game finished, them fly out and gone back to them club. But when, Pepe them come and them gone back home, them friend give to them the real way. You get
Yeah.
me, I say?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what we can do as a nation is like get probably 40 of the top schoolboys them, keep them together for at least 4 years, grooming them, gelling them, playing different systems, and try with them. And I think another thing that we miss is the Caribbean Shell Cup.
Hmm.
Remember that cup?
Yeah, remember that cup.
Yeah, I think we need to play more football as a country as well.
Right. So yeah, that is one of the next big problem too. But this is what I think is wrong. Um we play. So for example, we had what couple youth teams qualifying for the World Cup, right? Couple players playing against Pogba, France, and those teams in the World Cup under 17, under 20, right? Where are those players now? They're not matriculated. Why? Why? What are we doing wrong? Those are the questions I think, the technical committee and the JFF board of direction and any person responsible, the president, should sit down and ask, what are we doing wrong? And the first thing you guys are doing wrong is try to win this thing from the top, while the bottom is, you know, dirty. The stream is dirty. You understand what I'm saying? In order for the top to be clean, the bottom must be clean before, right? Richard said. I'm glad you're tackling the SBF. Speak. Go ahead. Yes, for real, Richard. Most of the teams in SBF who recruit their nucleus of player for 1 year or 2 year, they're not winning the schoolboy football. If you look at even Coach Daly team, most of those players are coming from where primary schools together, don't they?
Yeah, and from Pepsi.
From Pepsi from primary school, Macaulay
Yeah,
Primary coming into St. Catherine High School, and then from Pepsi coming right up. And he's a champion because what? There's a special ingredient that cannot be taught in 1 or 2 years. And it goes right up to the senior program. And
definitely.
that special ingredient is cohesiveness, playing together. It the movements must be in sync, meaning that if me and Coach Daly are coming from we are 10 year old. We're supposed to know the move we make on the field without look and know say I'm gonna do it without look. You understand?
Come
I'm
for
know
you,
say uh,
not cutting you. All right,
mm,
so my championship team, Bridgeport 2001 team. You could pull anybody and put in any position, you get the same result. We could have closed our eyes and play and know where each person would be. And we've been playing together from about 98. So we've been
okay.
together from 98, 99, 2000. The fruit was ripe in 2001.
So
I made,
you were playing for Bridgeport when you won.
yeah, I was the captain of the 2001 team. We won the first Manning Cup. We went to the semi-final 2002, and then went back to the finals 2003. So I was the captain for those years.
Yeah, no, we have to go get an interview differently with a yeah, understand me, Coach Daly interview telling me story about schoolboy football. It's going to come up soon, people. Right? It's going to come up soon. So you hear it from Coach Daly. You have to be playing together to know how your teammates play for a long time. And it's very important in the game. And if you look at the Jamaican game, you're not seeing like the players know each other. It's like, you know, um, we are talk patois and them can't understand the patois. You understand what I'm saying? It's like Speedy I tell the man say, go down there so. And him not understand what I go on because the man him not
Yeah,
understand what we
we
are
don't
saying on
understand
it.
each other.
You understand what I say?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
something look wrong, brother. I'm not telling you like something look wrong on the field. Pass and move. There's none of that. I see him taxi lines pass the ball, the pinnock and stand up.
And
Hard, you know.
funny enough, last year, sometime last year, a group of us from the same winning team, we went and we played some football together. And it's like it's the same thing. We're probably a bit slower and fatter now, but we know exactly how to pass the ball to each other. 'Cause, so that man can't not like it. I run through space and put it on him foot. When him get it, his option, which part him a look.
Right,
So we still have that, but even though after 20 years.
right. So for me, that is one of the most important thing. The JFF have look at our under 15 program where we have a group, a B team, a A team, and a B team. So the B team would be like players that don't have necessarily the body to manage. Yeah, like what Coach Peart would say
Period.
in
Right.
Belgium, they have two teams for each age group. One, you know, with players who are not, would say physically developed properly in terms of body size and structure. But when they reach to the 17 and the 18, they're ready to perform and do well. And I think that is one of the things I think JFF should put in. Um, I don't know. I don't know. We had an ingredients working for us, and we just change it. We went to I have no problem with getting the English players, but our nucleus of players cannot be from England. It cannot be
No,
from
but
England.
funny enough, we have players who started out here and then we get contract overseas. So I think we need to keep a track on those players as well. You
Well,
know,
well, well, well. That is. I'm not saying use JPL players, right? I am not saying use JPL players play. I am saying we should have a system where if our players go overseas to play in Europe or England and wherever, we should have them playing for us from what? Under 15, under 17, under 19, yeah? And now, whenever they go over into the senior team, they should know how to play together. That's what I'm saying, Coach Daly. That is the problem. We are selecting these players to play for us when they are when we're ready for a play on cup or something like that, which is too late. How can you build a bond there, right? How can you build a bond there? By getting somebody to come and build vibes at your camp and then award him
that's all
game
I can't try work for Aka.
because of vibes. We need to move past that now, man. We need to move past that now. We award people based on performance, not because of vibes. You understand me?
Yeah, man, definitely.
We need to avoid people because of current football. I am a person who believes in current football. I don't believe in big names. I am a person believing in current football. If you're not playing good, not care where you did big before. If you're two games and you're not playing good, you're going on the bench for me. And that's why you have to go prove it, say you're better than the person that put on now in training session. That's how I see football. You understand me? Not care what your name big. And I just start, really teach at over them. And when I reason with them in the P class, I tell them, You're not a big baller for me. I can go anywhere in Jamaica and get a baller.
True, true.
You understand me? Can go
Yeah.
anywhere in Jamaica and get a baller. You understand me?
Yeah,
Me
man, the
just
moment you make them feel like them a superstar, you know.
right.
You
So
say
I
them
always
probably
tell.
nice.
So I say me drive in a Calabar and take a ball off a dam. Good ball off of them dam and carry my Charlie Moon. So we can go anywhere in Jamaica and get baller bridge. So I
True,
tell
true.
them, you understand me? I say you have to be consistent. Consistency by professionalism, professional players. So these players in playing on the national team, they are not consistent. And I think Paul Hall failed to figure that out and say, all right, I need to make this hard and fast decision, which means that, some of them big name player, they now cut it. You understand me? If you look at the Peru game, right? We played well in the first half, right? But we got tired and some changes were made and the game really died down a little. But you can see the spirit of the local based players. You understand me? Most of them played in the under 20 team for Jamaica and they looked well on the field. If you look at
Yeah,
Jamal
man.
Ethiopia and King playing together in the centre back, they looked well around there. King had, I think, got the best performance also. You understand?
Yeah,
Um,
you get to hear a person saying that they're not experienced, but how are you going to get experience if you don't
Experience if
play
you
them?
don't play them. Oh, they're going to get experience if you don't play them. Right? I said
Exactly.
to somebody that I would play King over Low. Him said he's a madman. You understand me? And then we say, so King will never take a red card and make Jamaica actually lose because of the red card make we lose, Because if he never get red card, Paul lose the company field. You get where I come from?
Yeah, man,
So we
definitely.
always look on we always look on the problem, but we not look on the cause of the problem.
Yeah.
Right? So this you have we look on this the symptoms. But before the symptom, what cause we forget the symptoms?
Yeah, what, why, where,
Why?
who?
That's where you start the problem from first. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, the five
me
W.
say me say to them, would King get a red card in that game? I don't believe so. Because if not gonna make them stupid tackle it. You
True.
understand what I'm saying? But everybody, Damien Lowe played so much for Jamaica. His father is this and his father is that. We giving people merit for nothing at all. Nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing at all.
Yeah,
Nothing.
but going forward still now, I really think that they need to get, what, 2026? Yeah, man. Get a nucleus of the players them. So who is currently, within the schoolboy football to under 23, get a nucleus of those players together from now.
So here's a question. As JA football being given a reality check, are Panama and El Salvador or Canada countries we can learn from?
I think those countries have better grassroots program than us,
That's the problem. That's just the answer to the question. They have a better system of players moving from under 15 to their senior programs.
Right, so
And when they reach the senior programs, they play together. If you look at the Panama team, if you can count how much big player the Panama team are playing at the English Premier League. I don't even think one of them play at the English Premier League. You know what I mean? And look how they
yeah,
make a look with big star up outside Michael Antonio and Lamar Walk and the Ravel Morrison and the DJs. We look like a sham out there. Even our keeper, his performance is so poor in these last games. Right? No. You is a goalkeeper coach. And that goalkeeper can't pass the ball with his foot for Jamaica. It really, really bothers me. Whenever they pass the ball to them to Blake in the goal, I'm saying, wow, he's going to give it to our opponents. And then another cycle of wave is going to catch us. And another cycle of attack is going to catch us. In the Mexico game, he did it more than about 4 times, and then boom, come out again. So I know this is football. No care how you fit on the field. If you're not keep position on the ball, you're going to be torn apart. You're going to be tired, right?
True,
especially
definitely.
playing with coaches who have sense and said Jamaica can't defend square. Worse if foul go up on the field, just square the ball to the back post. Right? And as a centre forward, they want to put it between the back post and the front post. And once you're in that area and you're free, it's unlikely for you to miss. And that is just simple what the Mexican coach tell them play them for the goal is coming. Because these players are not holding the ball up and they are not breaking down the play. And I can't understand this. They're not every foul and all of the foul them where you commit in a game give you a card.
No.
You can break down play by fouling people. Jamaica
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a run past the man them and I make them just a run down. Alright. We are playing say you're playing behind the ball, Coach Daly. You're playing behind the ball, right? So they are building up their play. Um you catch them in an area where it's close, right? If they come out of that area, they are going to be they are going to be more players for them in the attack. What would you do if you can't get the ball but they are moving with the ball, going into that zone?
Yeah, you have to try and delay them as much as possible, Get your
Right.
players behind
In the
and get.
Panama game, I saw Jamaica like we gang them, we get them and we are close up on them. And the man them really make the man them come out of the area there with the ball and everything. You get where I come from? Nobody not even say give him a shoulder bounce or something. You understand? Because when a lot of players crowd down on a certain player with the ball and a little nudge or a little something stop the play. Referee now again a yellow card for that.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like we don't know how to break down play. We don't know how to break down play. We just allow them to pass the ball and move freely. If you check most of the teams that will win games have the most fouls.
Yeah, true, definitely.
You understand me? Most of the teams that will win games have the most fouls.
Yeah,
Look at
because
Chelsea. Continue
them try
stop running down.
them try break up them opponent,
Continue.
consistency, yeah.
Casemiro. Casemiro running down and foul you if him can't get the ball. You get me? I come from them a foul from early out. Wait till they reach out in a mirror where you can hurt him. But my foul from up in the game. You understand me? You understand what I mean? So
Hmm.
those are the things I always say. We don't know how to break down plays. We're not you're not creating the wingers now, you're not creating opportunities for us to get free kicks. But it's just based upon selection. We don't select the right wingers. We just well for me, the JFF start. They see one of the problem was coaching education, and I can say this the start with a positive. I'm going to give them their props. What is due to Caesar, Coach Daly, sorry, give them
Yeah.
not true. So them start with the coaching education now. So we have a task now to develop some quality players to put out to the market. So if we fail the next 10 years, say how we cause it, not true.
Yeah, man, definitely, I learned a
And
lot on that course as well,
yeah,
Yeah, I
and you
learned a
know,
lot on
and,
that
and you
course.
know we not gonna feel right.
No?
We not gonna feel because we learned by the best of the best. Big up Coach Pate. You don't know what he going. Yeah
Yeah,
man.
man.
Sir
And Sir
Speed,
Speed too. And
Lamar
Lamar,
Martin. Big up
Lamar.
yourself. But
Yeah,
I am saying this. This is a performance-based job. If you're not performing, no matter where you are in the coaching staff, you understand me? The JFF have to make some changes, man. Come on. This is not a one-man show or somebody to tie down into their bed. It's for the nation. We need to start to do something new, right? A lot of person don't like changes, but changes is what is going to bring us to the promised land. You understand me? We are doing this thing. We are the ingredients was working, and then we change it to um, the other ingredients. I'm not saying that we must not use English based player. I did not say that. I am saying Our nucleus of play cannot be from England. I am saying we must have a nucleus of player that know how to play together from under 15 coming up. And you just fit in the puzzles with new persons in, like about 5, 4. You understand me? Bailey, Leon Bailey said it. This chop and change thing, nah, go work. And him almost sketch chop the field. You understand me? Him almost sketch chop the field. Almost get trouble field. You remember when Bailey said that? This chop and put in this man and a bag of man in the team, it is going to cost us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that is what is happening now. He predicted the future. He predicted the future. And he told them that we is the one that can fail ourselves. We is almost every match Jamaica play. Only the Panama game, right? But we never do nothing at all. But almost every other match we play, we had a chance to win.
True, true.
You understand? The Costa Rica game, we could have win that, right? The Canada game, we should have scored a couple goals. You understand me? In the Panama away game, we should have win, defend and score a couple more. Hey, the coach, one at a time, Corey Burke. I don't know what Corey Burke had up on the field in the Bridging. Yo, so hey, I don't know what these coaching staff in Jamaica are really seeing, You understand what I'm saying? But now I really bash no man, but me have to just start the truth as well. Me see it. Look at this now. You have a man on the team where the assistant coach, right? He win money cup, right? But if you look on the style of football where money where them play, that can't go nowhere internationally, Virgin. Kick down and run down ball and hope say you attack them score goal.
Question, what happened to Nicholson, Shamar Nicholson?
Well, Shamar Nicholson had personal reason why he didn't, came. He was bought by a new club in Russia, and he chose not to. I think part of the deal was for him to stay, settle in the club, not to come to the
Okay.
World Cup qualifiers. And yeah, he stick to that. And I have no problem with that, Virgin, because you know they had all the ammunition team where they had Michael Antonio and a lot of other players that who could do the job. So it's just
I think Jamaica we need a system of play though. You know?
all right. So a system of play have to be done by us who just qualify for big coach now. No, it should be a national team where the under 15 national players. Once we all right, so we develop a player playing left back. He's supposed to understand what he should do when he goes into the under 15 program. Open up his body and pass the ball. Open up his body, scan. You understand what I say? You have to
Yeah,
listen to
forward touch.
this right. You have to listen to nobody but man on. Supposed to know when they on the field and who are come running behind from an early age. You understand me? The movements after ball movements too is key, right? And if you look at that, a lot of the players them will play, and you have some big English players in Virgin, where usually they are man you and them place there, Now no after ball movement, to be a madness on the field. Hey, all the time I said, John Star. If you go up on the panel and I say, like, Ravel Morrissey is not doing nothing on the field and they must say I'm the best player on the field. I say, Virgin, why are we? Let me ask you a question. If a defender do something wrong, right, and you talk about it, if an attacker do something wrong, why people tend to give the blunt of the blame to the defenders and pardon with the attackers when they make mistake,
Yeah, because when a defender make a mistake, it can cost you the game.
right? So what about
And
the attacker?
they always them always saying attacker going get more and more chances. Good try, come again. Good try, come again. you know. So that's just our culture. You know,
I'm
we always a
ask
bash
a,
the defender them.
I'm ask a question. No, if what's the purpose? All right, what's the most interesting thing on the field to see?
Repeat, didn't hear.
What's the most interesting thing on the field to see?
To see
Yeah.
goals, man.
Okay. Then if I forward now score a goal, why we can't rub him out like how we rub out the defender? If a midfielder now pass the ball correctly so that we can get goals to score, why we not putting some blame on that person? Why we pretty up them name?
Good question. As I said before, that's the culture, you know. We tend to curse the defenders or the defensive players a lot more than the attacking players. We stress more on them, you know, because say you're in a game and the defender makes two mistakes, that's two goals. That can lead to two goals, you lose 2-0. Where a centre forward get a whole lot of chances, you know, and
All
don't
right,
take one.
put it this way. If my defender make two mistakes and my centre forward and two goals is scored, and my centre forward get two chances and score, that's 2-2. I'm not losing.
E- Exactly, and that's why I love the Brazil team, you know, in the 90s to the 2000s, you know. Because what they did is outscore people,
Right.
you know. So,
Even in the
yeah,
Premier League, when Arnett was, you know, coached by what's the coach again? Arnett first coach. The one Premier League game.
Gerald
Remember
Neal,
that? Yeah.
glasses,
Uh yes, that's his man. He had a team that he outscore you. You
yeah,
score upon
man.
him, but he might go outscore you.
Yeah, man, very
You understand
tactical,
me?
man.
That's what he believed in. He played an attacking formation, a three back system, three forward. Sometimes he use a four forward up there.
Hold on, what I say a while ago? Gerald Neal, I say a while ago, or Jerome Wait. Jerome Wait, him
Jerome
name, you
Dean,
know.
yeah, Jerome Wade, Jerome
Yeah,
Wade,
why me I
Jerome
say
Wade,
Gerald Neal? You know, so Mr.
Jerome
Gerald
Wade.
Neal today. Gerald Neal, big up yourself, man. Yeah, man, Mount Pleasant, I think, him associated with. I see him today, man. That's why him
Okay,
come to mind.
Jerome Wade. You
Yeah.
understand me? Even Jerome Wade, because Jerome Wade see the hot water when I go there and just leave it up and leave it, talk out and just leave it. You know, sometimes you have to protect your integrity, you know. One thing nobody can say, Jerome Wade did not the foolishness that go on and the madness. You understand me? And a whole heap of people, you know, whole heap of them never stand up for Jerome Wade. You understand? I am one of the top coaches in the country. Nobody can take that from him.
He's a no nonsense man still, but you know, we can only speculate what happened, you know, because you know, rumors going here and there say Tapa like to do things his way. And you know, because a friend of mine said to me, say, when we went to the back-to-back Gold Cup finals, you know, when Wade was a part of that team, you know, there was everybody ideas coming off each other, and the team was playing very good. And you know, so them cut out that, you know, so team just dropped.
Yeah, man. So, you know, there's a lot of thing you can look at and you see the big problem. Even the persons in the overseas can see that, you know, there's a big problem here. John Barnes said on Talawa TV said that, you know, when he was in Paul, he said to them that, you know, we have to use our local based player and then fit the puzzle with a couple of, you know, overseas based player who, you know, can play. But if we are going to use mostly, you know, players that born in England and played in England, it's going to be difficult, right? When are we? We don't have money to carry everybody for a month in Jamaica to trade. We can't take them from their club. You understand what I mean? People are going to say, well, them are professional, them supposed to adapt quick and rare. Not go say in a football, Bridget. In football, it's time. Time. What? What?
Another thing, you know, you see for our local based players, they're more hungry feet still, you know, between me and you still, you know.
True, because they want to improve.
Yeah, man, them more hungry feet, and them want to break. They forget the contract the overseas, you know.
Mm-hmm. So them are come play hard. Even
Mm-hmm.
if so, uh, you know, you know. You know how much money I get for the World Cup, Bridging? Why we don't want some of the money? Why the JFF don't want some of the money, though, God? I don't know why they don't want some of the money, Bridging. See,
Them want, man, but then just can't grab it, you know.
Richard, big up yourself, my brother. Speak. The floor is yours.
Captain Pache, first of all, can you hear me loud and clear? London, England
Loud,
calling.
loud, loud, loud.
Give
Strong
thanks.
voice.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Coach Daly, is it, sir?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great, great, great.
Give thanks. I think I've joined at the appropriate time. The conversation is flowing very nicely now, and some truths are coming to the surface. Please hit the like button, views and subscribers. Coach Pache, newly crowned, newly appointed Coach D, style and flavor Coach Pache. Hit the like button and support the brethren. We
Yeah.
need
Yeah,
we
man,
need
big up.
quality coaches. Yeah, man, we need quality coaches going on forward for the future of Jamaican football. My lord, where do we begin? You know, I was on coach's desk, I think last night with Coach Minzy and Cranky them, and I say 2 ears. We have 2 ears for a reason, one mouth. It's good to use our 2 ears, take time and listen, digest before we speak. You guys are doing a good job in tackling some of the issues this evening, and I salute you for that. Can I cast your minds back, Coach Daly, newly appointed Coach Pachi, cast your mind back to the Gold Cup. Can you tell me, in your opinion, what were your expectations of Jamaica? I'm taking you back on a journey to where I began. I began when the Three Lions roared and the social abuse on the social media was spewing out at the likes of Jaden Sancho and Marcus Rashford in light of these penalty misses. And I wanted to know what options lay out there. Jamrock, sweet Jamrock, was one of those options, the land of my mother and father's birth. And I saw Jamaica in the Gold Cup looking to lift the cup, or so I thought. Can I ask you guys? Yes. So I want your honest opinion. Join me on my journey, if you will. Um, what were your expectations? Coach Daly, may I begin with you? What were your expectations regarding Jamaica in that Gold Cup?
Oh, for me, honestly, for that Gold Cup, I really wanted us to win since we went to two back-to-back finals, you know, and we get the likes of Leon Bailey and others. So I was really looking forward to go one step and be lifting the trophy.
Okay, all right. Concise. Coach Pachi, your thoughts.
Well, for me, I was so, you know, boots up, happy, boots up like Suppergen. You understand me? That we are going to win. I was so confident that, yeah, we are going to win this, man, because we have some top player, and everybody. Ravel Morrison look good in play. The Saudi Arabia game look good, and um, Daniel Johnson played well, and a lot of persons were doing well in the team. You understand me? And then after that game in Saudi Arabia, we hit the wall. We started to go backwards. The tactical changes was wrong. The players that we use in different position was wrong. It was going haywire. So, you know, that was basically, and I was so upset when we played Mexico, when we played USA in that quarterfinal game, and press, and we were pressing them good. We were pressing them, and we are getting the ball, and we are not taking our chances. And then we are tired. What do you do when your key players in key areas are tired? We take them off and put on players. We allow the Americans to, the coach said it at halftime that all he's going to do second half is to play with speed. He's going to move the ball more faster. Why? Because he knows that Jamaica not gonna make no change. Some common sense decisions that we are not taking. You understand? We are using this big name baller type of thing and we are not ready. And it's as simple as that. We are playing striker in right mid right. Alright. We want players to be defending right through the game. That is our mentality as Jamaican coaches. We want to defend right through the game. Right? And if you look at most of our Jamaican coaches now, that is the same mentality that they have. Some of the elite coaches, they want to defend right through the game. What about the offensive part of the football? We're taking away the offensive part of the football, which is nobody pays to see defenders, making tackles and stuff like that. People pays to see goal scoring and ball up, man take on man square ball in the box and overhead kick and anything. You understand? We are taking away the offensive play from our game. We are not teaching offensive play. We go too defensive. Right? We have a midfield maestro in Tyreek Magee. And instead of we try to build a block around him, so we use two D players, we set him up to fail on the field. You understand me? I think if Tyreek Magee was in this in the Mexico game, he would have done well. In the Panama game, he would have done well. Just my thought, because some of these players are lucky to get like for like in the midfield and still not doing well. Terry McGee never get to play with Grant in the middle of the park to really stay there and map up for him. Always get somebody to leak like Aka. It's just the truth. Yeah, it's just the truth. If you really look at it, it's just the truth. You understand me? We have this big baller syndrome, which is really hampering us. Look at the Peru game, the first half, how we played with our local born players. Look at the centre backs in that. Remember, Damian Lowe is one of the players who always kick out ball long. Don't it, Sir Richard?
Yes.
In that game, King was passing the ball, splitting passes, moving the ball around and not kicking away the ball. And Damian Lowe was really checking himself and say, wait, this young youth that cannot pass the ball. And me not pass the ball now, kick out the ball long. They must be mad. You can't show me. Me I go pass the ball too. You understand me? Then him start pass the ball and move the ball around properly. You understand me? And then at the end of the game, if you look at King's stat profile, he had 44 passes from 49. That's 90% accuracy. Right? If you really check it, a lot. And then boom, in the Mexico game, there's no King. As a coach, you really have to really take some hard and fast decision. Sometimes it may not favor the fans, but you're not playing for the fans, Virgin. You get me? I say, you're not make decision because of the fans, You make it because of the right one what you think. Damien Lowe and VAR is not friend. And if we look at the games coming up to this, you understand what I'm saying? It was coming. It was coming. Because in the USA game, if VAR was there, would have lost that game. I was 6-0 because we have two red cards.
Reality talk.
You understand what I mean? So as a head coach, that's where I blame him. He should have really made some hard and fast decision of some players not to be in the side. Like Alva Sport. Why Alva Sport are doing the team? What core work are doing the team? Damian Lowe need a reality check. He have to prove himself in a training for coming on my team if it was me. And King would have affiliated in a Mexico game. This is the next thing to Richard. Add this up for me. How you know, don't play Mariapa in the Mexico game, right? You use Alvas foul. How you take off Walker because of Damian's low mistake, right? And then in the Panama game, you don't start it over Colbert.
Put a pin in it. Love listening to you, Coach Parsley. Very, very interesting. I'm getting an insight using the ears, get an insight into how you see football. Wait, Coach Daly gone. I
So
was a
come back, man. Like you
him
get a
soon come.
call.
All right, sir. I'm gonna ask him a question. All right. You've touched on substitutions. I don't know if you had a chance to answer the question regarding substitutions. There may be people out there, viewers and subscribers, fellow coaches who would say, of course, him should have made this a substitution. Why him do so? Why him do this? Why him do that? Can you ever, I don't know if you answered the question, can you ever be a winner when it comes to substitutions? Somebody will always disagree with you. Back to being a responsible person. Paul Hall is the interim head coach. Tapper was the previous incumbent. They were making decisions. Winfred Schaefer was making decisions. He's paid to make those decisions. He should have his head on his shoulders. He's watching the game, he knows the players. Why would you feel that you know more than them? They're making a decision, may not be a gamble. You may think that it's a silly decision. Can you ever be a winner when you're making substitutions?
All right. So for me, you have right and wrong, and even though you do the right, you can fail because that's life. You do the right thing sometimes and you don't get the right result, right or wrong. Sometimes you do the right thing and you don't get the right result. You understand? But that's how life is. But for me, as a
Mm-hmm.
fan and as a coach, if Paula looked at the change with putting on Mariapa over Powell, would have
Yes.
been the best decision, even if he lost the game. I would have no problem to say that, oh, he tried his best with that tactical change because Maps was best to fit at that time because of his experience, playing in the Premier League, because of his hunger to defend and really, that's his best position. So he must can play 9 minutes and defend properly for us, right?
Right. Let me send a quick counter on that because what we're talking about is hindsight. Mariappa could have come on. Personally, I would have loved for Mariappa to have come on um, for those 9, 10 minutes or so. But if Mariappa had come onto the pitch and had been beaten by the Mexican player over on the right hand side there, and people have said potentially, well, Mariappa is not usually a right back. Mariappa is usually a centre back. Mariappa is older than Alvis Powell. He wasn't going to necessarily get to the ball quick enough. He wasn't going to get to the player quick enough. He may not have had enough time to get up to speed, having run onto the pitch, and that's why he may not have been able to stop that goal being scored. Could you ever see that argument being made?
I don't really believe in that argument because Silva is what 30 what soon reach 40, right?
Who that?
Silva from Chelsea.
Oh, Thiago Silva. Well,
Still Silva, so
the
40,
great Thiago Silva. Yes,
right? His
though he
speed, his speed is not really there, right? But his awareness, his movements before the ball play, and his eyesight to sense danger is key for him to be, that type of caliber player, even at this age. So I don't buy that talk about speed to get there because Albaspo is faster than most of the players in the national team. And his speed could not help him. It's not speed, it's just brains. He never have a brains. A brains would have made Jamaica win the game. Brains. Why? The Mexican team if you watch a game, the Mexican team never stop square the ball in the game. Once them reach to the byline, it's just squares. Why? Because they analyze our game and know that we are weak in the box. You understand me? And me, if me can sit down and say, whenever Pinnock and Moore play centre back, is a difficulty when squares in the box. They don't communicate well, right? So people say me a madman when me say I can't blame Paul alone, but I blame the different, I blame the centre back. Why I blame the centre back then? Because the centre back controls the other defenders, right? I remember a game with um, Charlie Mount and Cornwall College, right?
Mhm.
Not Cornwall College, Charlie Mount and
A Clarendon? No.
Margaret, Margaret,
Okay.
you know.
Mhm.
And my centre back, one of the best centre back I've worked with, right? We had another centre back there who sometimes tends to make mistake, but if you communicate with him properly, he will do well. And the one time my centre back never communicated, him allow a goal to score. So I know I didn't blame the person that made the mistake, and I blame my centre back for not communicating because that's the root of the problem. If we can see the root of the problem before the problem starts, we can stop it. Why we are waiting when the symptoms come on and we say, all right, I'm gonna try to stop it. That makes sense. We have to stop the problem. All right, we can look down and say, so that cause some problem though. Why we not stop it before it start? Panama game, 3 love, Pinnock and Moore, what if a goal score for 3 goals score for, right? In the friendly game with USA,
Peru.
what if a goal score for? In Peru,
Peru in the friendly. The first one for Paul Hall was Peru.
no, I'm not Paula. I'm saying Moore and Pinnock playing centre back,
Okay, okay.
goal scores on us, right? I am glad that he didn't play Moore and Pinnock. He looked like he sensed that and didn't play Moore and Pinnock in the Panama game, which is good, right? But our offensive part of the game let us down, and we are not blaming our offensive part of the game like how we blame our defenders. And I always say this: we should put the blunt on all players in all different positions, not only single out the defender them alone. And
I hun- I agree with you 110%, without question or hesitation. I think that the defense. Well, but let me check with you. In your opinion, is the Jamaican defense one of the stronger aspects of the Jamaican national game?
no, not on paper. I think our attack on paper is better than our defense.
I'm glad you've made the differentiation between paper and practice. In
Right.
my head, I'm looking at the practical element. As a new recruit to the Juta bus, to the bandwagon, I would say that the defense for Jamaica, at national level anyway, is quite well stocked. We may have to reevaluate the likes of Lee and Moore. I can see that there could be potential weaknesses there. I've never been totally sold on his ability at the highest level, but he has been a willing recruit to the Jamaica cause. Ethan Pinnock is a quality defender, works hard, knows how to pick a pass, very athletic, can read the game, and it would be great if he could be a mainstay for the Jamaican national team. But in my opinion, from looking from London, England, with a passion for Jamaica, the attacking third, well, all right, look, the midfield and the attacking area, that would be my concern. Coach, no, for real thing, and Coach Barchi, can you explain to me, excuse me, can you explain to me why Jamaica consistently have 27% through to late 30% or low 30% in terms of possession, and they cannot regularly string passes together Can you explain that to me? Where's that coming from? I have a theory, having watched some of the games and trying to reflect now. But from your perspective, that's been a real eye opener from the journey started to present. And I thought Tapper may have a lot to do with it, but I may be mistaken. I may be mistaken. Explain to me what you see from a coaching perspective as to why
This
Jamaica can really achieve anything with those low figures in possession and can't string together regularly and confidently like the teams we see in the Premier League, which I've grown up with, in the Champions League, I've grown up with. You guys have grown up watching it, and we don't see that with the Jamaican national team. I can't expect that kind of team to even lift the Gold Cup. But go ahead, go ahead. You're getting me passionate. Go ahead.
all right. So you hit a point there. That's the first point that came to mind. It's hard to change the mindset of players when they're trained or drilled tactically one way. So you said that Tapa is Tapa. You in your head Tapa was the fault, and I say the same thing. That defensive type of game where everybody should defend, from forward to defend, midfielder to defend, that's the biggest problem. So automatically we're gonna drop behind the ball. Automatically we're gonna give position to the other team. Right? And then we are gonna behave like hot pot, and try counter attack. It's basically the tactics is wrong, The tactic is wrong what we are using in training for these players. I love what I saw with the team that played against Peru in the first half.
As did I. As did I. That's easily the best period of football I've seen. I mean, maybe would you compare it to the Jamaica Costa Rica game in the Gold Cup,
Right,
where they were beaten down the door and ended up losing that? It was a dead rubber, proverbially speaking, before the quarterfinals. But um, yeah, would you compare it to that game?
right. So if we if the tactics is the problem, the coaches are the ones who, determine the tactics that they are going to play based on the opponents, right? Now it says to me that these coaches fear these countries. They fear, and then you have to really look at everything, because sometimes they say they have an analyst, a sports analyst there who break down the team and tell the coach, "Ah, this is this and this is how they play and really and tay, right? And he has a lot of say in the tactical team too. But the coach have to follow. So the coach, so sometimes you have to really sit down night and really try to look for everything what I got. I remember no one coach make decisions. I carry him for the head coach because we learn at a school. It's a collective thing. It's not Paul alone make decision. Paul is as the law say, but if you want to have a good relationship with your work co-workers, you must also respect their assistants. When they forget what I'm saying, right?
I hear you.
So
Go ahead.
so based on the analysis of all these team players, then the coach come with his tactics. So and then now we can say, all right, the tactics wrong because you can't do Jamaica, you're there yard, and Mexico come no matter who, I could have Brazil, Germany come here and you have to go somewhere and go play behind the ball. For what reason? Them supposed to come here and afraid. Just run upon them left, right, and center and pressure them for the ball. And gang them for the ball and now let them out. Break down the play. If them come out. Mr. Rich, Mr. Stevenson, the man them can't break down the play them. Not even one look of foul. Just a run side of the man them and I make the man them go with the ball. I see it in the Panama game where we close down upon the man them like this, we have them pinned down and we make them come out with the ball. Without a scratch, not even a little bunks on the ground for alright, so slow down the play because if you reach another year there with the ball, they're under pressure. Nobody a move like, you know, you just can't understand. Those things you have to teach players in a bridge. You have to
Go
teach
ahead.
players.
Go
You
ahead. Go
have to
ahead.
teach players these. No, All right, these players are professional players. They should know this and they should know that. No coaching job that Virgin. We are picking this team like a corner league team.
Yeah.
Like we are play corner league. Corner league we are play with. Pick up some ball and play corner league. That we are doing.
But does corner league also include not making tackles? I'm really listening attentively to what you're saying. I want to digest from your perspective, newly minted D coach, what you're thinking and what you're going to bring to the table. I think that's a really interesting point. Do corner leagues not engage in effective tackling? That's why I asked the question, is Jamaican football in general naive? I mean, at the schoolboy level, is a lack of tackling, robust tackling, the N'Golo Kantes, the Casemiro style of play, the Mardo Silva, the Dunga, as you can see, I've got a lot of time for Brazil. Um, that kind of play where you can run down the clock, or you can break up play, you can make the opposition realize we can't play ball against this team. When we can run with the ball, boom, there's a tackle, there's an elbow, there's pressure. Man have to
No,
fall down and realize.
not
I've
really
been surprised that that's not been happening because you've
because
identified a lot of things. Go ahead.
because of VAR, you know, really can't use the elbow, but you can use a shoulder. Boom,
Yeah, yeah, but
shoulder,
physical,
boom.
physical. As you said,
Yeah,
you saw
smart
Jimmy them
physical,
end camp. Yeah, them
smart
end
physical
camper
work,
player. Yeah. So what go
smart
on?
physical work.
What's
So
happening in the
if you
Jamaican
really
game?
check
Why that now go on?
if you really check our ingredients, you know, when we qualify for the World Cup the last time, and even I watched a match with Jamaica versus Uruguay, right? We won that game at 2 with Teddy Johnson scoring and I think a Fuller or Damien and no Fuller and Damien's low that one on the low scoring. I mean I tell you, the Uruguay man them afraid to touch the ball in the middle of the park because Clark Davis have come for you and you now pass to the ball for more than 3 meters to beat a man. Diego Fuller was playing, a lot of top baller was there. And I tell you, it's attacking ball game, a wing back, we have Garfield really run on run on the wing and go down and a kick ball off. I go, woodum! All them things they come out of our body. We now nobody can take no shot again. Them things they gone. We have Rudolph Astin a kick ball from way out. Boom off a goal. But now them things never can the football again, them gone. You understand me? If you really check back and look back on how we play our football in the 2000, 2005, 2004, 2010. Them football are really gone. It gone. We change from our culture, our genetics. We now really go back to our thing, our main ingredients that take us to the World Cup. We change from it and we're looking at the easier picture where we can get some players because of our heritage in England. Carry them into 3 days and expect them to play and win for us. No go so in a football. You have something that you cannot break in football. Cohesiveness can't teach in a 1 year, 3 day. So I mean cohesiveness of a three teach like in a 4 year cycle. Right? Even in the schoolboy league, as I mentioned before the coach daily. You have some teams who their nucleus of players have 1 year. So them take them when them have them last year and then competition. I expect those players to have cohesiveness of that bond, knowing where that player is going to run without even looking in like, would say, 3 months or 4 months. 2 months of camp, maybe 2 months of training, 2 or 3 days per week. How can you build cohesiveness in such a short time and 3 months of competition? How can you build that?
Well, watch your look. We know that Jamaica face, maybe we don't, but Jamaica face unique opportunities as well as challenges. You've asked the question yourself, but can you provide the answer? Because we've seen, greetings to Steve Mack. Look like this gentleman is on the show and supporting big time. I hope he's hit the like button, and there's some good pointers. One of the which I'm going to refer to in a moment regarding overseas coaches. Do we need a quality named overseas coach, or as you're saying, yes, this point here, or do we actually rely on a local based coach or a Paul Hall with dual experience of England and Jamaica to actually coach? I mean, personally, Steve Mack, personally, we've seen Paul Hall um, impress his game, what he wants to see, possession and passing of the ball in that Jamaica Peru game. It was given and granted a friendly, but we saw in that 45 minutes ringing praise and a change in attitude, as you said, with the likes of Richard King, and then Lowe following suit and passing the ball out from defense into the midfield. But yes, back to preparation, Pachi. Don't Brazil, England, Argentina, the South American teams, don't they have players, Canada likewise, who have to be flying over to camp? They don't get necessarily 2 weeks in which to train and to mold and to build cohesiveness. So Jamaica will have that issue unless they depart from the route of using the creme de la creme from overseas, Jamaican talent. So I think that is a challenge that should be embraced because you want the best players available. Or am I mistaken? Because you're not going to have a
There's a
golden 2 week preparation to plan.
there
So
there
what do
there
you do?
there
What
is
is
a
Chi Chi
problem.
doing?
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
answer it now. I'm gonna answer it and tell you
Come in.
what can solve the problem.
Come in.
So when you ask why Michael Antonio want play for Jamaica now, but they never know. So Michael Antonio they want play for Jamaica long time. Michael Antonio wanted to play for Jamaica from he was a boy.
Go ahead.
Then Bailey wanted to play for Jamaica from under what 15, under 17. Didn't get the chance. A lot of these English players now who we have wanted to play for us from under 20 coming up into a system but did not get a chance. And that is where the problem is. You have to have these players in a system coming up, transitioning into the national program. So if you have a culture and um, let's say a style of play system,
Mhm.
you teach them from them. When they matriculate into a next level, matriculate into a next level, matriculate into a next level. You understand? And that's when you can say, all right, we don't have 2 weeks to but they are playing from under 17 and that they must know each other or each other play. So Richard, if you do it like that, stop picking these players. They have one World Cup cycle. Don't make sense. One World Cup cycle.
That
Don't make
sounds good.
sense.
It sounds good in theory. It sounds good in theory what you're saying, but what is the practical or practicalities of that? All right, check it out. Walk with me. Walk with me.
Hmm.
I've seen Jimenez. Is it Jimenez? Atkinson.
Yes.
Those are two players currently playing their trade in the
SBF.
in the JPL. Is that right?
Yeah, and the JPL too.
All right. And then let's go and check out the Mannings Cup, the Costa Cup, the creme de la creme from those two competitions. Where can you see them going ideally to end up in the Jamaican setup? And Richard King, who's in the Jamaican setup, but where can you see Atkinson and Jimenez ideally transitioning and matriculating into the Jamaican setup?
It comes with opportunity, giving these players the opportunity to express themselves by the persons in authority, the head coach or whoever selects the team. And if we don't look at these players and see that, hey, come on, these players are really doing well, give them the opportunity, give them the experience from now when they are young, we're going to be in serious problem. And I think that is one of the biggest things. We say that these players don't have experience, and yet still we're not giving them the experience. Don't make any sense. Don't make any sense. You know, Ca- Cataract, who loves English players more than anything else, can come and say, Zimenez is the real deal. That says a lot. That says a lot. You know, that says a lot to what this boy have. And if, you know, persons that who have the power not seeing this, our corner is very dark. You understand what I'm saying? Um, we need to select players to play a certain style of play. So Paulo says he likes to play like attacking football, right? But yet still he has players that as them get the ball and then foot them kick it or try to make a pass. Then I try to hold the ball and put it in space and be patient. That not fit his philosophy or when we want to play. So that's where I blame Paul all now. You can't say you want to play a certain type of football, but yes, they don't go for the players that can play the type of football. You understand me? You say it out of your own mouth, say the young players who are willing to work and willing to learn, and that's why they look so well. And then fast forward 2 games after that, the other players look worse than ever before.
I still want you to pin down then why. In fact, watch this. I was speaking to one of my cousin, Papa D. Salute. Uh, Loves his football, and we were reasoning about the state of Jamaican football and how to go forward. And he made some really good points. One of the points he made alluded to being careful with the word education and the need for Jamaican football fans in general to be more informed, so maybe they don't beat down on the players as much as they may do or express surprise. So I'm going to put it to you and check out how the land lies with you. In terms of Jamaica compared to El Salvador, Panama, Honduras, I could say Suriname, the other CONCACAF nations, how, in terms of skill level, how does Jamaica compare, Pachi, with
You mean
CONCACAF
creativity?
rivals?
Creativity?
Creativity, yeah, in terms of technicality and creativity. You can,
All
yes,
right.
good word there, yeah. How do they compare? Please
So,
inform
so,
us.
so for
What I
me,
want.
I'm going to get a lot of bashing for this. Um, we don't teach creativity in Jamaica.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button, people out there. So Pachi, I get controversial, yes, sir, but he's speaking from the heart and we need to appreciate
We
that. We're going
don't
forward. Go ahead.
teach creativity. Matter of fact, you know, hats off to the JFF for seeing the problem and really trying to fix the problem now by focusing on coaching education and getting coaches at the the grassroots level certified. A survey was done by InSports that 1,000 unhired people coaching at the primary level don't have a license to coach. So look at that now. 1,000 people from the grassroots level, which is one of the most important levels in the country, don't have the
Wow.
necessary criteria to coach. What do
Wow.
you think?
Wow.
You ever watch the show the butterfly effect?
The who?
Butterfly effect.
I've heard of it. I don't think I've watched it in its
Right.
entirety.
So one butterfly can cause a storm. You know, one butterfly in Jamaica or in England can cause a storm in Asia. In football context, you have one coach to 30 players, Mr. Richards. You have
Hmm.
one coach to 30 players. Imagine you have a coach doing the wrong things to the 30 players, telling them the wrong things, teaching them the wrong way, 30 players. What does it do? Spreads. Spreads. Each
Spread this
year,
video. Spread this video. Hit the like
each
button.
year,
Spread the visibility, please. Go ahead, coach.
each year, he produced 30 more players. 30 more, 30. And look at those 1,000 and odd coaches that don't know how to coach properly because they don't have a right proper qualification. Right? Teaching these youngsters in Jamaica to play football. Look at the disaster that they're in. Think about it.
I mean, want to get some sleep tonight, Pachi. You want me to think about them something? I won't be able to sleep. I'm not in a mind job.
You won't sleep. You won't
Oh,
sleep.
wow.
You won't. If you really think about it, But JFL, hats off to them. They saw the problem and they're trying to fix it as much as possible.
This is
And
what
I
I
have
told
to,
my cousin.
I have to be respect. I have to respect Sir Peart. They didn't want it for him to get the coaching for the principal of the coaching school, and big up to Sir Speed, the great minds in football in Jamaica, and they are doing well. They're trying to really, change the culture of our football and really organize it and reshuffle it. You understand me? They are the persons that are really, doing some different stuff, trying some different stuff for us to get better in the football. So hats off to them, for even giving me the chance to really do the course also. Big up on yourself. Yeah, but it's a serious problem, Sir Richards, if you really look at it. You understand me? Serious problem.
So
Serious
when you
problem.
when you've seen the national team, has it come as a surprise? I mean, as I said, I joined from the Gold Cup. Were you looking at these games and thinking, well, you know what? At that time, was it the coaching, or is it because you've now got the coaching badge and you've seen things a little differently? Because it's just been painful watching sometime watching Jamaica, and I wondered what is, and I've asked the question on many a show, what is Jamaica's identity? What is Jamaica's style of play? And it was hard to get an answer. In fact, the question was, what style of play? What identity? So it's interesting to hear you hark back to the
We
days when there was
we
good football being played by Claude Davis and other players. But what is this identity, and what could we go back to that the coaches could actually implement to get the best flavor out of the Jamaican players going forward as a team?
we have an identity, but the identity is not that attractive. So, as Jamaican, if it's not attractive, there's none. And the identity is being defensive and playing behind the ball. Simple as that. And try to counter and try to counter attack. That's how we play. That's how we play. We are playing. Most of the coaches that get the job in the national team, that's how they play. And I can tell you that if you look back on the under 23 team with Donovan Lucky, look at his team that he's coached. They're very defensively. He's one of the coaches that won the most defensive award in Jamaica Premier League. And he got in charge of the national under 23 team. Marin Garden coaching Gabriel Masia. He won the competition with Gabriel Masia, but if you really look at how Gabriel Masia plays, those football can play in international football. Which team can run down football win competition in international football? Think about it. Nowhere in the world.
Also, them now reach group stage.
Correct.
Them now come out of the zone.
Can work in a schoolboy league because that's amateur football. It now go work in a. You understand what I'm saying? Tapper Whitmore. What type of football he's played? He played. Stay behind the ball, counter attack, and defend out the whole game.
Kick the ball as far away from your goal as possible, if in
Right?
doubt,
Right?
and it comes straight back at you. No, it works. So can't
So
work.
if you really think about it and really look back or look at it, it's just how the Jamaican coaches has been taught. If they learn that, attack is the attack. If we was an attacking culture like we had in the 1990s coming up, you know, we would have been scoring a lot of goals. Remember Ricardo Fuller, how creative he was, how skillful he was. You know, those players playing centre forward. You have some players playing wing back who could kick the ball like a rocket. Players in the midfield who could kick the ball like a rocket. Squares coming from every angles in the box. When you really look back and oh, those players are not there anymore. We are not creating those players anymore as a nation. We're not creating any limits to make tackles like Onandilo, proper tackles and stuff like that. We're not creating, and adjusting to the rules of the games. Like, VAR is there, so we have to adjust and use smarts. We have to be more smarts now than anything else to really, be physical. Okay, kind of so physical, so you have to be smart physical. No, adjustment and how you tackle before, you know, things like that, or you break down the play and stuff like that. You have to teach these players from now on.
Before I get back to the before I get back to schoolboy football, because schoolboy football, in terms of a global look, I've never seen the passion and deep interest in schoolboy football as it is in Jamaica. I want you to just give us a flavor in London, England, and across the diaspora as to what style of football is being played in schoolboy football level in terms of creativity, in terms of an awareness of the importance of a defensive midfield um, role, and yeah. In fact, just tell us about that because yeah, I'm still just disappointed at the style that is currently being played by the national team. It's um it's not the best look going forward, but we're gonna go into that. Tell me about schoolboys football. What kind of style do they play there?
So, schoolboy football, some
I've seen
coaches,
creativity.
some coaches play defensive, some coaches play attacking football, some coaches play balance, and some coaches play a formation because they just like a formation or a system that doesn't match the players they have. You understand what I mean? So that's why some of them get some bad beating. You understand me? So sometimes you have to use a system that match the player that you have in your arsenal. Now, for a team such as JC, KC's, Clarendon College and those teams who have the nucleus of players or the better players in the country, I would say Linted and stuff like that. They have the luxury for picking different system to play or use, and but sometimes they pick the wrong system to use with the type of players they have. So for me personally, with Linted, I was saying Linted is going to win because they're doing well and stuff. But when I really look back on some of the mistakes that were made, in terms of selection of players, you know, tactical mistakes with a good quality team like that playing, like it's just the mindset of these coaches is just to go out there and try to score on the counter and not really, playing that possessive penetration attacking game. You understand what I'm saying?
I think that's
It,
so important what you're
we,
saying. So important. Go
we're
ahead.
not seeing in the attacking third where, players really get the ball over this line here. If there is no space when you're going down, you cut back the ball, right? And then you dart again inside because space is created. You understand what I'm saying? If if
Beautifully.
if
Yeah.
there is no
Yeah.
if two persons coming to mark you, right, and there is no crossing lanes, all you have to do is turn it around, pass the ball, switch cycle the ball in front of them, move the ball left, right, And that is what the Mexicans are doing.
Recycle.
Is it rocket science?
Yeah.
Why can't we look at it and say, all right, we can do it also? Whenever we get the ball as a nation, it's like hot party. Kick, boom, start again, defend. Goalkeeper get the ball, boom, can't pass out the ball within 2 foot. Now. Boom, next wave of attack come from me. Next wave of attack. Next wave of attack. Next wave of attack. I'm going to say this: the only team in the schoolboy football that I really sit down and enjoy this season playing was Clarendon College.
No bias.
No bias. They really showed me that they're trying to play. Some people may say copycats, but they're really trying to play like City or even Barcelona in their prime. I remember that game against KC, how they moved the ball around, passes, passes, passes. And if you really have the real analysis of the game, you could say that Clarendon College made over 400 passes or 300 passes in that game. They move the ball. Players are doing this, that. System is in place from under 14 coming up. A system is there. I think seven of those of their players from under 16 was in that Manning Cup team. And they fit the puzzle with some other players they recruited from other schools, like around five or so, to come in with that team.
That sounds very good. That sounds very good. Very impressive. I can see a comment down here by M10 Football. We've moved away from our culture, and that's a big problem. No creative strikers like Boyd, Walter Blacker, Boyd, and Ricardo Fuller, who made defenders into cones. I don't want to leave this particular platform without and being confused as to the culture of Jamaican football. Is there a definitive culture, and has it changed? Because M10 has just referred to the creative
It's changed.
strikers. Right, okay.
It's changed because we can't teach creativity. All right, even if you ask, uh, if you come to Jamaica and look at training sessions, there's no individual training session in the training session. Like you have a day for individual training where you work on players, you know, creativity, weaknesses and stuff. It's everybody together every day at every session. You understand what I'm saying? No one-on-one training like all right, the goalkeeper. All right, so you get the forward. He's not kicking the ball properly. What do you do as a coach? You get him into a one-on-one session and say, all right, this is the way how to do it. This is the way how to do it because your favorite player is Drogba. This is how we did it. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're that type of player, you're a poor player. So you work like this, you do this, you do that. If you like Lukaku, this is what Lukaku do. Where you understand what I mean? Because it's working, right? That is what we as coaches out here are not really teaching these players how to do what to do. You understand me? We don't have a skills coach because in the European countries you have skills coach, set piece coaches who focus on different variation of set pieces.
A weakness for Jamaica at the moment. A big weakness. Good defenders, but good with the asterisks because at set pieces,
We are poor.
um, yeah, for crosses and free kicks, they have been a real weak link, a real weak link. I'm really glad that you got this, you got this coaching certificate, and you're talking about the importance of coaching. I think that that is something that going forward for Jamaica is going to be really, really, really important. And I think that's yeah, to focus on it would be important. M10 is making some good points. Yes, the Reggae boys kick and run. That thing can't work. Oh boy, oh boy. By the way, Mr. Blake, Do you have a particular point of view when it comes to Andre Blake and the role of a goalkeeper? What did you learn in training? Because if a team has not got a tremendous amount of possession um, stats in their favor, and they are relying on the counter attack, which is akin to kick and rush, which is why that Peruvian game was so impressive, because there was a give and go, pass, recycle, take your time, and attempt to do that. It was obvious that it was different from anything we'd seen in recent years. But Andre Blake patently cannot. He's not comfortable. He's not an Edison, Joe Hart, Man City. Mr. Guardiola said, I need my goalkeeper to pass out. And increasingly in the international game, goalkeepers need to be able to pass out and not just boom, kick the ball. But if you've got Blake, is there any alternative, Parchi? Have you got anything controversial on that line? Because Blake, as goalkeeping standards with his other skills, seems to be the number one. But in terms of possession, he's going to kick that ball more times than not. And it's going to be a 50-50. You win that ball, you may not win the second ball. And it's possession back to the opposition. Any thoughts on that?
In modern football, teams have learned how to press properly and win balls whenever you play long ball. I think Jamaica don't understand that yet. Um, I'm not really blaming only Low. I'm blaming the coaches that played a part in his development, even the one now in the national team, because you must know the importance of playing out at the back by a goalkeeper. And if your goalkeeper constantly, allowing waves after waves of attack on your team, it simply means that you don't want to win. In the Mexico game, the keeper constantly kicking the ball to the Mexican player in the midfield. Right or wrong, sir?
On point,
What was
correct.
what was the advice from the bench to the goalkeeper? Why? Am a big name baller? Nobody can talk to him?
Mm.
That's why me, as young as we be now, in this field, I am blocking my brain with this big name baller mentality thing here. Current footballer, my big name baller. If you play current football, you play good currently, consistently, you are my big baller. But the moment you drop off, I mean you too much and you drop off bench, nuclear. You understand me? Why are we creating forwards to play wing back? Why are we using forwards to play um, right midfield? This is a national team. We're supposed to have players playing a position because that is what they play in the heart from them when them start play football. You have Corey Burke who are centre forward that play wing.
Yeah, Corey is an interesting character, playing in
Right?
an interesting
No,
position.
but this is come like my heart, my ball out, I say, Jesus Christ. It, um, Your name again, Antonio play a 1-2 with the man, and the man do so well and pass the defender. And all he had to do was to pass the ball in front of the goal to Bobby Reed for a goal to score. Keep the ball inside the things. And we pass that and we don't talk about it. There's no um, video about it. The first thing was from some of the pundits was that the keeper untouched Lawrence gave away the game. What about the forwards that did not do the right thing to allow us to score the goals? Imagine Jamaica was 2 up in that game against Panama. Would they come back in that game after 2
Describe that moment again for me, sir. I heard it loud and clear, but I think this is another interesting point that you've raised, Pachi, and another sign that you have really shown you've learned a lot from the coaching, and you're showing an insight into your footballing mind.
The throw was coming in to um your name again? Brown throw the ball to
What to Burke?
Antonio,
Antonio? Uh-huh.
right? Antonio then played a 1-2. Antonio then no Burke to Antonio. Antonio played to Burke. Played then not sorry Burke then played to Antonio. Then move into space and then Antonio played it to him. A defender was coming in and it was a touch forward. So smart touch with speed inside the box. Boom and beat the defender, right?
Uh-huh.
So you know that pass where you're supposed to make square to across the goal,
Uh-huh.
right? Because the angle is acute, you cannot score from there.
Right?
You kick the ball, team inside nettings. Because what? We no cohesive. Him never know so the man I go there over there so. Him never know say Bobby Reed gonna make them run there. If it was Fulham, Bobby Reed would have scored that goal because them play together and them know them play.
That you've hit a great point. We're flowing nicely here. Viewers, hit the like button. M10, full respect. Full respect. I like the points you're making, and I wonder if you agree with what Parchi is saying. I mean, where are these skillful players, and are they being given the opportunity and the right coaching to matriculate into the national setup? You say each baller spends time trying to salad and pie someone. We always a player who called Brocky Boo, players who never let the ball go. Sounds like a Lamar Walker.
Yeah, Lamar
Interesting.
Walker is not bad, you know.
No, not bad. And I heard he was from the watch alongs. He sounded like he was one of the braver players.
That's what we need, somebody brave to move the ball at these people and stop believing that the ball is at party and be smart with it.
Hopefully, going forward, that can be the case.
But
It's
let us, because I think you want to go to your bed soon. So let us go to the plus. Um, Focus on 2026. How do we go forward 2026?
I love the flow. Well, I'm going to put the ball in your court initially because, again, on Coach's Desk, it was an interesting forum with some really great contributions from the likes of Neil Sovereign and Coach Minzy and Manning's Man and so on and so forth, Cronky, of course, full respect and Coach Devon Porter. Now, going forward, and Sean, full respect, Sean Ellis. Um, are you interested in putting a deadline on players who are interested in representing Jamaica in terms of joining the program? So if you want to create a cohesive team, you can give them, for example, a June 2024. Let us know if you want to be part of this journey to 2026. The earlier, the sooner, the better for you and Jamaica. Anything after that, in terms of, yes, more want to be a part of it, it'll be a case of, unless it's exceptional circumstances, no deal. Would you approve of something like that, Pachi?
Um, you know,
Welcome, Brain Drain.
never really hear all the questions to them because we are focused on some of the messages.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad the messages are coming in, and I'm hoping that the viewers and subscribers are hitting the like buttons. Seeing Brain Drain, yes, sir. Respect Party. Things are going. Things are
Yeah,
going.
yeah, things
Brain
are
Drain.
going.
Yeah, man. Listen, so would you be interested in a deadline of a like June 2024? Anybody who want to get on board the Jamaica Juta bus and bandwagon, you come in now. Anything after that, unless it's exceptional circumstances, thanks, but no thanks. We've got our selection. These players, passionate, wanted, interesting. interested, they've got the availability, the desire. We want to work on a cohesive unit to build up to take on the likes of Panama and El Salvador and Suriname and Curacao and Honduras. But we want a team that is knitted and know each other, have each other's back for the campaign. What say you?
All right, so um, we have to start with our under 15s, under have to start with our under 15s, or under 17s, or under 20. And one of the things I'm looking at is our under 20 team now is going to pick, which I think a lot of talent is going to be in that team. A lot of players who we love from the schoolboy league, a lot of players who we love from the elite league in England will be on that team. So our future looks bright. But the problem is going to be, will they matriculate into the senior team? Because we always do well sometimes, in these competitions, the under 17 and the under 20 and stuff.
I've
But
heard that from Mr. Speed. He has said
they, they,
things.
they, they,
Yes,
but where is the matriculation? Why they can't make the national senior team, right? We have the likes of Kidder Taylor Hart coming to play under 20. You understand? We have the likes of Whisper, who is over here in England in academy playing, scoring on Man City and City, which I think will be in the under 20 team. Zimenez, you understand, who is going to be in the under 20 team. Um, a couple players from Cavaliers who are really playing well in the Premier League is going to be in the under 20 team. Couple players from um, couple players from the schoolboy leagues is going to be in the under 20 team, right? Who looks very well, who looks well, who are doing well, who score some brilliant goals in the schoolboy leagues are going to be in the under 20 team. So it's going to be a mixture of English players, Premier League players, and schoolboy players who are doing well put together. So for me, I think, yeah, they are going to do well, and I think that's a start for us. That's where we need the bulk, the players from England to come in at, so we can really look at them and say, all right, hey, this player is future. Hey, this is where we should look at them first. And then now, when we reach the senior team, if there's an exceptional person, then we can add that person. But if not exceptional, we can't come with the chop and changes. Leon Bailey talk about it and see it, it's like him see the future. He said that the only person can make we not gonna work up is we ourselves, the JFF. And the man must catch trouble feet, don't he?
indeed, indeed, indeed.
But it's the
So,
truth.
so you think early preparation in terms of identifying a collection, a group of players,
Right, which is
yeah,
cost effective.
which is cost effective. Hmm. Is that part of the challenge, should I say?
We,
Then,
we, we,
because that
we,
cost effective thing there, you say, are you suggesting that? Yeah, yes, that's an interesting one. You know that on the current journey, we had players who were paying their own way. Um, so in terms of commitment, where you could hardly fault somebody for getting time away from their club, then getting their plane journey thousands of miles to represent. You can't fault those individuals from that standpoint. But it's an interesting one. Suppose you've got the better players that are based overseas. Are you suggesting that cost effectiveness may hinder the JFF um, drawing, or yourself from, in theory, drawing on those particular players?
all right, so what I'm saying is that Michael Antonio is one of our best players on the field, right?
Say
Our
again.
best. Michael Antonio is one of the best players in the team, right?
One of the best players in the Jamaican team.
Right. I'm
Yeah, man.
asking you.
Is he one of the best players in the Jamaican
Yes,
team?
yes.
Yes. At his best, he is. At his best, he is.
All
For
right.
what his skills pattern is. Yes, he's got the ability.
How Michael Antonio look playing for Jamaica in the Mexico game and the Panama game.
Not not terrific from my understanding. I've not watched the games live, but not terrific, and that's been another eye opener. So I'm
So
going to listen carefully to your next comment. Go ahead, go ahead, go
so
ahead.
that said to you say, not because these players are good in England mean that they're necessarily going to play good for Jamaica.
And this is why I've loved this conversation, Papa Pachi, because what's interesting and what you've alluded to, what I've alluded to as well. So we've agreed that cohesiveness and preparation are vital components.
Vital.
Vital. So whether for logistical purposes or otherwise, if when the players land in Sweet Jam Down, they don't have enough time to get to know each other, that's one thing. But watch this. If these same players, get me now, just come to me, just sprang to my mind. If these players had been gathered 2 years, two
Playing
years,
under 20.
well, look, Ethan Pinnock, Liam Moore. In fact, here's the thing. As I'm just thinking aloud here. We're chopping things up here. Taxi Lawrence, Blakey, Alvis Powell, Speedy Williams. These guys have been in this setup for many years, but the style of play, so they know each other, they understand each other. I assume that they grew up playing some level of football together. But look at the style of play at the international level. You'd wonder, do they know each other?
Because
Or
of the
what?
tactics.
Right. So this is why I said over the coming months, maybe years, there's going to be conversations, real hard conversations in terms of where do we go. So from the JFF, absolutely very important to tackle those issues. To the financial realities, not making this cut for 2022 is a challenge in itself. Then the coaching, which is very important, and then the matriculation is very important. One of the key interviews that I heard was from Tyreek McGee himself when he appeared on Coach's Desk, and Tyreek McGee said his preparation and what he learned from schoolboys football in no
Did,
way, shape, or form. Yeah, you
did,
just heard that.
did not help him.
It didn't help him. And I think that spoke volumes, and it was a truthful assessment. The man struggling to get games for his Belgian team at the moment, and going forward for any other team, he's struggling. And this is, as you have suggested yourself, he's one of Jamaica's finest recent prospects. And yet, he said something like that. And I have real concerns for this matriculation. In England, they don't use that word, by the way, very often. Not in footballing circles. So in our circles, it's called development. So for want of a better, it's the same thing. Coming from schoolboy football, because I was watching it this year, and seeing these players then graduate to the JPL, they should be getting to the JPL sooner than later if they've got the ability. I seen players 18 years old, 16, 17, 18, still plying their trade in the Mannings Cup and the Costa Cup when they've got good ability. Get them into the JPL league, get them into either the USL or the MSL, and if they're good enough, then they can hopefully get a contract going forward. But if you've got people in the local, community bigging them up and saying they're the biggest thing since sliced bread, and these are the players that should be getting a call up for the national squad, hold tight, because the jump and the leap and the gap between schoolboy football to JPL to the MSL to Europe.
I want to read some comments, sir. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
man. Yeah, man. Check in and see what the commenters are saying. By all means, thanks for listening. Listening on the
I'm gonna go
show.
up here. So Brian Jane said,
It's
put
like
2026 with 4 match remaining. And he said, who is the coach for 2026?
I thought
Then,
Brendan would have the answers, by the way, for that. I say Paul Hall if he's good enough.
and
If we get the
M10
hard
said,
questions, why not?
Better they just give him the job, give Shatter the job. And then
Shatter.
Brandon said, "Are you impressed with the three straight losses M10 football?"
Sometimes it's not what happens when you lose, it's how you lose. And at the moment, Paul Hall, he's not got an A+, he's not got a B+. There's things that he's got to learn, from substitutions to original starting lineups. I thought a back three would have worked in the Panama game. Or back, yeah, a 3-5-2 formation would have been effective, but that's our opinion. I think that Kevin Stewart should have been a starter. Um, put him on for the last 15 minutes. I was really surprised at that. Kevin Stewart, quality midfielder, central defensive mid. I thought that was
Man not
an
allow
error
nobody to
in my
turn
opinion.
man not allow nobody to turn and play ball. They wanna break it down for early. Them they play they want your team. So suppose when you say big up on scene, big up yourself from boss. There
Respect.
you go. Brain drain. So when you say under 15, under 17, under 20, are you selecting local or both overseas and local? Yeah man,
Good question.
both overseas and local player. Both overseas and local player. That's when you want a local player to be in the team to gel with the team so that when it comes to the senior team, they are not just a 1 year coming to try to build cohesiveness. Or a 29-year-old coming to play a one season or a 31-year-old coming to play one season.
Big thing, big thing, big thing.
Alright? M10 football say I knew it would always be an uphill task with limited time to fix the issues. As soon as the players come under immense pressure, they are going to revert to their old habits.
And that's indeed what happened. That's indeed what happened. It's a real challenge, real challenge. Yeah,
Where
man,
is
you
the
can.
finance coming from to support these great ideas? But the
That's the
finance
point.
is it's cheaper than carrying those players from England for those, 3 games and stuff like that.
But let me put a caveat in there, unseen, by the way. Some of these players were paying their own expenses to come over. And I think it's a good point that Brain Drain makes. Again, there are financial restraints that the JFF have to work in. And with no qualification for this 2022 in Qatar, the 2026 campaign is going to be that much harder. So I think, the creme de la creme of the crop from Jamaica and that matriculation process will really come to the fore. And this is where you guys as coaches, um, not only yourself but the A and the B coaches, that's when they're going to really come to the fore, because you need players that are capable and ready to hit the ground running, to learn, listen and implement what's needed. And if this stay back behind the ball business, forward, you're a forward, defend. You're a midfielder, defend. You're a wing player, defend. You're a
Defender,
that uh,
madness.
well, go ahead, keep going. What else is I'll go on in?
I've
M10.
always said our biggest problem is our ability to sustain valuable position, and once we can't do that, we will definitely come under pressure from our opponent, and eventually we will crack.
It's,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Sports only because the Antonio not getting the service he needs to look good.
A big thing sports down the middle. That's a fact. That is a fact.
Any 30-man squad we have together for a 3 year period can easily get us to the World Cup once we have proper administration and coaching. Correct.
Fully concur. M10.
Do
Great
we
point.
need
Yep.
Damian Lowe to tackle these problems? Oi, oi, brain drain. You just sit
Hey,
down and make your punches them solid.
oh you mean? Oh you mean?
Brain drain. Jamaica fans are 10 years behind football, just as our football is behind the rest of the world. Correct? We don't read book. We still believe in just tackling. We believe in traditional CDMs and lots more outdated stuff. The defense is almost every good league has a high passing percentage above 85. Our defenders are wild. Even
Very
though
important point.
even though many even though many fans watch the EPL, you still think they are 10 years behind M10 football.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? It is an interesting one. I mean, we've already talked about the likes of Richard King. By the way, I think that we need to big up Richard King. Well, encourage him. When I say big him up, I'm not saying that he's the best thing since sliced spread, but his ability and willingness.
To pass the ball.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's a refreshing something, man.
Some
And to have,
cutting
yeah, man.
coming from Clarendon College.
Ah, ha, ha. Really?
and the
Should be very proud,
Cavaliers.
very proud, very yep, very proud, very proud.
So
Really good
if you
talent.
really look, if you really look at some of the players that are really flourishing in this national team, Lamar Walker is from Carolina College also.
Okay, where's Kahim Paris? Kahim Paris. Where's he from?
Cavaliers,
From
the
Kevin.
Intil Cavaliers.
A quality play. Jamaica have got a handful of quality young players who have potentially bright
But
futures. The key thing I say when it comes to the matriculation, though, is schoolboy football is one thing and shining there is one thing, but you need to take that talent and then can you then take it to
export
the
it.
next year, yeah, man, and mix with players who are better, are your equal who are older. So that's why I want to keep my eye on the likes of Jimenez to see how he flourishes in the big boys league, and then beyond that, because JPL is a certain standard. In fact, let me just quickly throw that. Keep going through the comments. Keep going through the comments because you must have a lot coming
Yes,
in. Respect.
because they watch only the flashy things and they only focus on where it actually is. So they all the parts appreciate parts of the game. That's true.
That's a
That's
really
true.
good point. That central defensive midfield area, God knows. I wonder if the schoolboys understand that and are willing. Are the coaches willing? In fact, let me quickly ask you. In the coaches training that you received, would you say that you have a finer appreciation of um communicating and having an eye for central defensive midfielders in terms of how important the position is and who can actually play that role and what does it involve and its importance in relation to the team and the game of football?
Well,
A
wow.
real thing, real thing. Midfield is
I
the engine of any football team.
well, I think Pearson played him. I think Pearson played him sometime. He's a good player. Blake from JC played him. He plays centre back too also. Ooh, and another player from Dintil played him. I think those three D-mids are the best in the league for me.
I'll remember those names and I'll watch the program again and keep my eye out for them. It's such an important
Uh,
position and needs to, yeah man.
and
It's
all
not.
three of them can pass properly. Yeah, they can pass properly and they tackle well. And most of the time, they don't really need to tackle. They're in position, which is very important. But our development rate of these players are very low.
What do you mean by that?
Low in terms that we focus mostly on centre backs, um, wingers, forward players, wing backs. We don't really focus on the essential attacking players and defensive players
So
in
you don't.
Jamaica.
So what you're saying now, going forward, do you think, for example, for 2026, we don't necessarily need to be expecting to see a Blake or any player from Jamaica born anywhere representing, and we'll automatically have to look to the best of the Jamaican talent plying their trade in the Premier League and other places around the world.
Well, I'm not saying that Blake or Blake, not the goalkeeper Blake, but the Blake from JC, right? Yeah, he has potential to go anywhere, but these parents and these schools send them to the college system, and then 2 years after them belly get big and them stop with them. That's it for them. With them degree, no more football. So it's going to come down to what they really want out of the football. You understand me? As a person, get the opportunity to really help back their families and stuff. They pass them degree and them say, alright, I'm gonna work and make some money now. Football too hard. And go with it. Most of Jamaica talents go through that, you know, avenue, and it just we feel terribly through that avenue. Or you're focusing on academia rather than focusing on your talent that can make you more millions of dollars more than the academy. Mark you can get injured and you need the academia
Of
to
course, of course.
bounce back on. But at the end of the day, if you're thinking as a businessman, the smart option would be playing football for professional wise. Which then, if you're smart enough and you get a season, of top flight football in a country that pays well, you can set yourself up to go back to school and still play professional football. You understand me? So if 2 years come and you play, you set yourself up in a way you get injured, you still come out with something same way in your head. It's just how you balance yourself and set up your team will make the
Abs-
difference.
Absolutely,
You understand? But
absolutely.
when we just say, all right, we'll send them to the American system, and then go play college league and play USL and them something. Career done. No improvement.
And that's one of the key things: improvement, improvement. For 2026, that would be one of the key pointers:
Yeah.
improvement.
If you go play European countries, you have to play against them in something. Not to beat them.
Oh, you mean? For real, for real. M10 seems like he's a very. Have you got any other comments coming
You
through?
know, I have more comments.
Yeah,
Brain
go ahead.
drain is Blake major problem and some are making him out to be, or we just need a scapegoat.
Brain drain, brain drain. You know, easy. Blake's kicking out and making 50-50 possession decisions for Jamaica.
Very
It
poor.
is. Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge.
Devastating.
Yeah, man. You have to, unless Jamaica say, well, all right, watch out, kick it long. First ball is a 50-50% chance of winning it. And then the second ball, of course, there's the second ball. The ball go up in the air. Makes it suppose it's the opponent wins the header. Who's going to go run in to make sure them get the second ball so you can get the chance to have the ball. And then once you have the ball, what are you going to do with the ball? And that is where Jamaica have been breaking down. Uh, Before you go on, Pachi, what can we learn from El Salvador and Panama? I've been asked this question by some people, and they say, "Well, hold on," and we've heard it in the chats and in the vlogosphere. How can El Salvador or a Panama or a Costa Rica, who don't have a whole heap of players plying their trade in England or in Europe or even the MSL, how come they can have teams that are passing the ball and playing better with more confidence than Jamaica, who have arguably their greatest crop of talent that they've ever had at their disposal, and a top three squad on paper? What's going on? How do you explain
Because
that again? Just to reiterate, what's going on there,
because
sir?
there's a difference with players on paper than players that are playing together for a long while and players
Facts to
that
that.
want to play together and knows each other how each other play. So that's straightforward answer right there.
And I
You
think
know?
that is what a lot of the fans need to um, be appreciative of, that time to work together. It's not a case of just having star baller, and that's something that I've learned the hard way through this particular campaign. You know, getting excited about having players from the EPL and Premier League Championship. That's one thing, but the coordination, the time. So when we watch those videos of the team training, you know, and bonding, as you said, you know, you see all of them together doing group work,
Party,
passing the ball.
runs Jean Fardy.
But there's more to it than that. So I really want to see a cohesive unit with players who are going to be on board early going forward for the Gold Cup and Nation Cup campaign. But we'll see how that works. Blake could be a problem in helping the build up from the back, but as a coach, if my goalkeeping coach cannot do what's required, I find another way. So the coach must make a decision. Paul Hall is going to be under the spotlight. The hard questions will be asked, and that and the goalkeeping coach. Is Warren Barrett at the moment? Is he the
Yeah,
goalkeeping coach?
he's the goalkeeper, Ryan.
There's going to be hard questions that have to be asked because I'm
From when from here on out.
from go through the comments and see what else you have this so. Thanks again. Hit the
So
like button
cause
to big up Parch and Unseen.
we're gonna lock off in the next 2 minutes. So I want to
Respect.
sleep.
Hit the like button
I want to sleep
before
now.
you guys leave. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I'm
And
gonna read the
to
last comment here. Richard, it's just a name. It's just a name change. I'm the same person who did the analysis on Bowser who you asked if it was an advertisement for my friend. Okay.
respect, respect
So
M10, respect. I remember you. I remember
so
you.
Sir
Full
Richard, you have
respect,
so
full
30
respect.
seconds to say your last piece. 30 seconds.
It's been quite a campaign. It's been quite the dramatic campaign, but we hopefully will have learnt something from this campaign where we went in full of hope and optimism that this is going to be a big team that can make the top three, top four, at least. We found out for one reason or the other that this issue goes beyond Tapper Whitmore. It goes beyond even Paul Hall necessarily. What we need is to check out the infrastructure of Jamaican football and get a greater appreciation and take the best from our opponents in the CONCACAF rivals. Panama, Costa Rica, Honduras, they're flying. Canada, top of the table. Why? 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 Let's take a stock, not to be too proud to take a step back in order to go forward. On to 2026, but there are 4 games ahead. Let's see what Paul Hall can do as the coach with the players going forward, and let's see the best of Jamaicans' style and flavor. Unseen, all the best to you as a newly minted Coach D level coach. We need quality coaches going forward for the betterment of Jamaican football at all levels to increase the positivity where matriculation can actually result in real quality output for the future of Jamaican football. I salute you and keep spreading the message. You put a horror show. I don't know if I'm going to sleep tonight. 1,000 coaches around the island and them not have no coaching badge. Oh, Lord of more. The butterfly effect. We want to have a butterfly effect where quality coaching can bring the flavor out of our footballers, and let's go forward in a global sense for the good of Jamaica. Big up Unseen, and thanks again for having me on. And remember to hit the like and subscribe. Spread,
Anytime,
spread,
Sir Richard.
spread the video so we know exactly what
So
I go on.
people,
Reason and I go on.
let us focus on 2026 because I throwing my towel. I don't think that we can make it for these 4 games. And that's just the truth. Maybe we'll win Costa Rica, but we have to El Salvador and who next? El Salvador and Canada leave. Canada is playing so well. I don't think we can beat Canada playing like this. So um yeah, that's basically it. We have a good crop of players coming up from the Premier League, Schoolboy League in England. So let us bring them together from early and build them and show them the way.
Reboot,
Well,
reboot.
unseen sports, we see sports from a different angle. Big up Sir Richard, seeing the sports from a different angle also, with his big glasses. Respect, man. Always encourage me to do what I'm doing, and I'm glad for that encouragement. So
Respect,
until then,
respect,
people, I'll leave you with
respect.
with these words: always have God in your heart. Don't forget Him. He's the one that gives us strength. So you know,
Bless.
Amen, Amen.
Amen to that.
Yeah, man. Respect everybody. See you again soon in the future. Unseen Sports is out.